And welcome back to another Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes video. This is your man Warrior, and this is about the credit heist. Now, I just recently did a video about 10 days ago about the credit heist when it was last out, and I was pretty upset about the new additions to a couple extra bosses that they didn't originally have. And the developers actually, through a letter, told me that that was what I was experiencing was a bug, and that they would have that worked out in the new update. So I was looking forward to the new update because I did want to see if I could actually beat the Scoundrel event that I had been beating that I could no longer beat. It took me like 12 attempts just on the first level. And of course, in that video, a bunch of you said, what are you doing? You don't even have Stormtrooper Han leveled up. What the hell's your problem? Well, again, I know why I didn't do it, because Han was not a necessary character for me at the time. Although, as everybody should be willing to learn and move and adapt and adjust, I realized Han was going to become critical for this event, but then I also got word of an Emperor's Demise event, which has dropped already, and I have unlocked my 6-star Palpatine, working on my 7th star if I can get a couple characters to 7-star. And the credit heist has become immensely easier with that character. I also added to my list IG-88. I have not run droids yet, so I was not farming him, but I did start to work on him. So I have a Scoundrel team that is, I would say, semi-developed, meaning that I have spent minimal time developing them. I've done the leveling up with gearing to the part where it's been cheap and easy and fast, and now we're starting to get hard on each character. I have chosen to kind of stop. The only one I went forward with was Han, and I am going to continue with IG-88 because he's got such good dual purpose. But I was able to do the credit heist this morning, and both tiers. Now, the first tier, I zipped right through it, and I was struggling very much so on the last video to even get through the first one. And of course, tier 2 I had accepted I wasn't going to beat, and so I just didn't do it. Well, with the new character developments and the new additions, credit heist now has become easier if you have Han and IG-88. And so because I added them to my roster and started developing them, I was able to do tier 2 both times and get my full 1 million credits. Now, you can see I only got a 1-star instead of 3-star. I really don't care whether I get a 1, 2, or 3-star, because you either beat it or you don't to get your credits. And I was able to beat it and get my credits, and that is a big deal. So the credit heist has changed, and a lot of other things have changed. And of course, the Emperor's Demise is still here. But I wanted to show you where to find the updates for the game. Now, a lot of people go to EA Sports' website, and they do the forums and all of that. And they have leagues that tell them what's going on. And of course, there's some inbox information that comes through occasionally. But if you come here, and obviously this is pretty simple for most, but not everybody really knows where to find the information. Once you click on forums and it launches, there's a bunch of stuff. News and announcements, game updates, developer updates. The last set of updates is under developer updates. So if you click on the developer updates, the latest community update was just 2 days ago. Click on that. And then here are the updates. Now I'm going to go through these briefly and quickly just to kind of show you some of the things. Some of the general stuff is whenever they have bugs, glitches, things like that, a lot of times they'll throw it in here. They had some title spacing issues, which they fixed. They did add Cantina Energy at noon. This is cool. Obviously, it would be awesome if every time your energy refreshed, the Cantina Energy would refresh. I think that's where we want it to go to, and maybe someday that'll be there. But for now, we at least get more Cantina Energy. This is the best energy, and the reason for that is you can get your mods with it, you can farm your characters out of the Cantina battles, and you can get ability mats through doing those types of battles. And when you're new, free-to-play, early, within the first few months, these are all things that you absolutely need. So that's pretty cool they added that. The refresh costs are awesome as well. Now, with regular energy, it went 50-50, that's 50 crystals for the first refresh. So we're just going to go off of the numbers. 50-50, and then 100-100-100 200, 200, 200, 400, 400, 400, so on and so forth. And it just got 800, 800, 800. It just gets really expensive. And so I personally normally do, and the reason why I personally do the amount of refreshes as I do is because being number one in the arena, I get 500 crystals a day, and then I do the $10 subscription a month to get the extra 100 a day. So between the 100 and the 500, I get 600 daily, plus I earn a little over 50 through the achievements that they offer through the day. So about 650 gems. And I don't do this every day, but most of the time I will do the regular energy. I will do the refresh of 50, 50, 100, 100, 100, and then stop there. Occasionally, if I really need to farm a character up, such as for this Emperor Palpatine event, I may go past that. And then for the Cantina energy, it was very expensive, and I would only get 1 or 2 refreshes because it got real expensive real quick. Well, they have fixed it. They have not created a 50 level on the Cantina refresh, but they did create the 100 level, and it goes 100, 100, 200, 200. Very similar to the regular energy, but instead of 3 rounds, you get to only purchase that for 2 rounds. So instead of being able to buy the 100, 100, and 100 in the regular energy, you're able to do it twice with the Cantina energy. If I haven't completely and utterly lost you on the energy refreshes, essentially, this is super cool. It made it easier for us to go in and do more of these battles. There's now 2 more. They have 2 gear pieces rotating into the PvE shipments. They actually pulled out the furnace. That was what they had through the last month. And if anybody was needing furnaces, that is about the only thing I would have recommended you spend actual money on in the game if you enjoy the game enough to spend money on it. If you enjoy the game enough to spend money on it and you have the money, those shipments will occasionally offer a raid gear piece. The raid gear parts, which you can only get during raids, are the bottleneck for the game, and it really crimps everyone's style on developing their characters. I will say that if you can get the gems, save up the gems, and wait, that is always going to be the absolute best purchase because it's a guaranteed raid gear part. Now, this month, they're doing 2, and the 2 that they're doing is the droid collar, which is the one that I'm bottlenecking on right now, so I'm super excited about that. And the second was, I believe, the security scanner. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was the second one that they dropped in. The PvE shipment is just that right at the main screen of your game. The shipment's on the kind of the top middle. So that's what those are. So, oh, it actually says right there, the security scanner and droid collar. If I was actually reading the screen, I would have seen that. There's now a newsletter notification with every major update, so you can see the updates. The character balance, Cad Bane. Cad Bane was not hitting the way he should have hit. He was supposed to be a great character. Everybody wants him to be a great character, but his toolkit sucks. They did give his damage an increase of 25%. That's significant for anybody using Cad Bane in the credit heist or other areas of the game as a leader or whatnot. This is going to be super good news for you. Mace Windu, he is a great Jedi. He's easy to farm, but not a lot of people use him. Due to the lack of usership, they've increased his abilities to make him a little more appealing. The expose that he inflicts on the unique can no longer be resisted, so he will expose the opponent. His basic ability does more damage, his special ability does more damage, and they fixed a bug on him. Now, Kit Fisto, pretty excited. He is, and so is Commander Cody, individuals that I believe you can only get through the Chromium exclusive, so I'll be brief, but basically they took Kit Fisto and completely beefed him up with what was going on with him. The potency effect being able to trigger 100% of the time, his basic and his special ability doing more damage, and what's really, really cool about him is he has a chance to attack twice. He also has a chance to counter. So for anybody who is going to get a Chromium pack, for any reason down the road and unlocks him, he's definitely a character for Jedi that I would develop if I were you. I used him to get Yoda, and he was phenomenal because every time Yoda would attack, half the time he was attacking back, and sometimes he'd attack once or twice. And if you have Aayla Secura, she's the same exact way. She can do counter attacks. Kit Fisto and Aayla are amazing. They're excellent too against meta teams. And what I mean by the meta team is if you look up the metadata of who is using what character, those are meta teams. Those are teams that are statistically being used the most. Counter teams are very popular right now because they can really handle these primary meta teams that are popular out there. Commander Cody was very cool as a new addition. He is still Chromium exclusive only. However, his abilities that came out, he looked very overpowered, but he's still not having the same usership as they thought that he would have. Obviously, I think Chromium exclusives, this happens. Just like a couple of months ago, they had the scoundrel Zam Wesell, and Zam came out and nobody really was using her. She was just basically a big turd. And so they reworked her last month, and now she's got better evasion, and she afflicts that evasion down on the opponents much, much better. There are some other minor bugs that they've gone through with Dengar and Genoshan Spy, Grandmaster Yoda, Chief Nebbit. They fixed bugs over here. Let's see, Grievous lightsabers disappearing during battles. The death mark can now be removed by gaining stealth. That's pretty awesome. If you're running a stealth team or have a few characters like Leia, as soon as she gets the death mark, you can stealth her and it goes away. It's a nice way of dispelling that. If you don't want to have to take in a cleanser, you could take in a bunch of people that stealth. For example, a Tebow lead, which a lot of people do in the raids. People randomly go into stealth, almost too good, and this is going to give them the freedom to be able to clear their own death mark, which is really, really awesome. So there's other bugs, but the whole work through, basically they worked out a couple of characters, pretty cool. And if we go back to the game, you just go back. I just wanted to say I'm really excited about the rework. I'm really excited about the event. The Emperor's Demise is pretty cool. I am excited about hopefully getting my 7-star again. For him, I've got 2 characters ready to go, and then I have 3 I'm working on. I just started developing them over in the last couple of days. That would be Han, Luke, and Biggs, and I really hope that I can get these guys high enough by the end of this event in the next week that I'll be able to compete. I've soared through the first 6 tiers pretty easily, well, the first 5 tiers easily. The 6th tier, I did make it with 3 characters surviving, but I did lose 2 characters. But no worries, I think that I've got a week, and I think that's enough time. Well, I hope this information about the credit heist and how they fixed the visual bug for the credit heist, and all of the changes and modifications that they've done to some of the characters like Commander Cody. I hope this information was relevant. I hope you now know how to find this information on your own, if you didn't already know how to do that. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and get your gaming on. Warrior out.